went upstairs to read, and some things went through my mind, and I thought, well, I'm gonna come back downstairs, talk to the screen a little bit more, and one of the things that went upstairs, went through my mind when I went upstairs was many of us were taught to look the other way, and well, that is a problem. I think I could talk for a minute about Appalachia, where people mind their own business, and you try not to interfere, but you also try to be a support when people are having trouble. Even I think sometimes individuals that are pretty harmful might kind of try to help people sometimes, but I don't think that is about really the same kind of looking the other way. But yeah, that goes on a whole lot. Well, it's not my problem. I don't care. And I have something to gain by not paying attention, and nothing to gain by caring. And I mean, I think there could be a lot of reteaching that really needs to happen. But what I wanted to talk about for a minute is, I have thought about this a little bit, but I'm not in the classroom. And really, I don't think children can be prepared for what children are being put through, being taken from school, being held. And I'm going to continue to say concentration camp. All right, so, I mean, there's so many risks, including a young person, and it could be a teenager saying they're depressed, and then what if that kid ends up being drugged? I mean, anything could happen. Anything. A kid could get pregnant. I mean, there are abuses that go on. There's all kinds of stuff that goes on, and then what happens? In Georgia, there has been involuntary sterilization when this is a thing. And in Georgia, that was that during that round one time. And it's like, how does someone get into a facility and do those things? Well, there are a lot of bad medical doctors. I mean, maybe not everyone agrees, but I know that's true. So that's historical. That's happened under the administration. And, and has it happened under other administrations too over the past, 20 or 25 years? Or, I mean, we could take it back a few decades. It was brought to people's attention. I mean, I just can't believe it's happening again. It just blows my mind. But that even could happen to a young person. And thinking about when a person is in a facility and something goes wrong with a person's health, and the risk of saying anything about it, and a person might feel like they're dying. And maybe they are, maybe they aren't. I mean, it's so extreme. But I don't think children can be prepared to be taken. It's like, how do you prepare a child for that? But maybe it's not a bad idea to do that. To talk about it, to talk about what could happen. Here is what could happen. And then, I mean, thinking about time frames. I mean, there's plenty that's already happened and needs to be stopped. But thinking about when things like this go on, how do you prepare children? You could be taken. Strangers could take you, adults. They might do anything to you or try to do anything to you. And talking about, there might be people who are really good at talking about what to do and not to do. If you, I mean, but really, a child is never prepared for that. But a child effort could be made to prepare children for that. But it should stop. It should stop before all that continues. But sometimes things keep on. So I just think it's something to think about. And adolescents, teenagers, adults, being prepared. If you are abducted, do you want, or I mean, some people might say arrested. If you were taken, how are you going to stay alive? How are you going to mentally and emotionally get through however long you're there? If somebody says this is how long you're going to be there, well, do you believe that, or do you kind of wait and see? Because sometimes things change. So helping a person, or their skills. Maybe a person has been through something like that before, so they have some idea. But I think about, again, we should have stopped this already. We should be stopping it. I think we should be able to stop it instead of those things continuing. But since maybe both things can be going on at the same time, we are stopping it. We also are helping train people, and I know some of this has gone on, but really thinking about this more, and having to do this in a militaristic political system, a militaristic country, where people can be harmed. What kind of training is good? Resilience training and survival training if something really bad happens. I mean, everyone is different. So some people, I mean, some people might be fine for a pretty long time, then suddenly not, I can't take it anymore. Then what happens? Some people might feel hopeless from the start. Things might happen physically. Things might be done to a person's body. Again, are there trainings going on? Maybe there are. In schools, maybe teachers have creative ways of talking to their students about things without making it real frightening, and doing it in ways that are indirect, but that help a child know that they have, skills if something happens. But again, we have to stop it. We have to stop it. If I want to compare this to, thinking about when I thought, I won't fall into a rape crisis because it's going to stop. Well, it doesn't. And there always are people who need to be responding to things like that. What's going on now? I mean, it can be stopped. There's always harm going on from humans, but it can be stopped. And I've talked about things that, this needs to happen, that needs to happen. And I sent a letter today. I mean, does it make a difference? I mean, I would rather do something than not do anything at all. So I try to do, what can I do? We are stopping it. We are putting an end to it. We have to know that. When we know that, what steps are we going to take to stop it? Well, if there are steps in between somehow that put us in harm's way, how are we going to be prepared for that harm? That's something to think about. But not a person not giving up their life. And a person, so anyhow, I just thought I would talk about that for a few minutes. I don't know why. I feel the need to talk about these things. But it's just getting, it's getting worse and worse. And, with that bravado. And what are all the words, And, I mean, again, thinking about children. I mean, that ain't okay. Not at all. But, what do people need as far as skill development in the event something happens, and helping a person know to hold on. All right, I mean, you don't know how long. I mean, but holding on through times that feel real hopeless, that's important. And so anyhow, another video of, I don't know if I'm saying anything at all, but I'm going to put it out there anyway.